Okay, just to wrap it all up, um, there was just a couple of minor details. Well, not so minor from a engineering perspective, but just from communicating it to you. Uh, the spars in this guy were absolutely critical. If you don't have spars in one of these wings of any sort, any kind of flying wing, or any airplane in general, really, but it seems to be more of a problem with flying wings, is you get a lot of fluttering, especially at higher speeds. So I actually have two spars going, and you can't see them because they're buried. You just see the tips of them. They're buried underneath these black panels of foam. But anyway, two spars going from the 33% chord all the way down, and then again this way, the same thing. And then I have a spar joining those two in a triangle fashion across the lateral direction of the airplane. And I have the engine, the motor mounted, basically pushing up against that so that it shouldn't crush the foam. In the case of a nose first impact, the impact will hopefully be absorbed mostly by that spar and will not crush the foam. And as usual with these guys, with any flying wing of any sort, but maybe even more so, I'm not sure, with these pretty much Mirage-style, totally triangular shaped flying wings, is that you've got to get that CG right. There's just no way around it. If you don't get it pretty much exactly perfect, you're screwed. I noticed that with I've done now 3 different styles of flying wings, and with all of them, if you're off by even as much as like 1/8 of an inch, you can have huge differences in stability, in pitch stability. And so, when you get that CG calculator on the internet, and it gives you a value, for like the 20% range of stability, you want to be pretty much right on the target. And so, yeah, that's basically covers all of the advantages and disadvantages of each one of these guys, and this is in 3 parts. I hope to get a video of this guy flying out to you soon. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a cameraman to film for me, and as usual, I have difficulty finding someone who knows how to film these things flying well. They typically don't get it in the frame of the camera for too long, and it's either zoomed way out, too far out, or too close, or whatever. But anyway, we'll see if we can get some decent footage of this guy flying. But it's really the nature of its flight is very much the same as what you see for kind of like the Mirage models that you can buy, from various vendors. It flies pretty much identically to that. It's a Mirage style design, a Mirage 2000 style. Okay, I hope some of that information will be helpful for you guys. I know that what I have discovered from doing all these various designs is that there is no one design that covers it all, really. Each design has its advantages and its disadvantages, and it's really interesting to explore those. And even though you may know already up front, as in many cases I actually knew already up front what each one of these designs would give in terms of advantages and disadvantages, actually implementing it and getting it to work the way it's supposed to is a challenge and is fun. And it's always fun to fly each one of these guys and get a different flight experience. So what I enjoy about having 4 different styles of airplanes, besides the Nexstar that we bought for my son, who has flown that many times, and he flies one of these guys sometimes too. But anyway, you get a different flight experience from each one, which is a lot of fun for me. Helicopters are something that I find too time-consuming and expensive and so on and so forth to maintain and build, and I just like fixed-wing aircraft in terms of their ease to maintain, build, and fly, and But one day, if I have enough time and money and so on, I might do helicopter RC. It's a lot different than when you're in the helicopter than when you're flying it from the outside. It's not the same. Flying an airplane from the inside, you know, is easier than flying outside when you're doing RC. But the difference between flying inside and outside, there is a big difference in terms of, you know, when you're in the airplane, you can see exactly what's going on. And in RC, you got to kind of have spatial orientation when things are reversed, when a plane is coming towards you, or upside down, or so on. But the difference between RC plane and in the real plane, and the difference between RC helicopter and in the real helicopter is vast. The helicopter difference is much, much greater. So that's something I'm going to hold off on for now. Okay. Anyway, good luck with your designs, and if you have questions, feel free to ask.